In the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, amen. May today there be peace within. May you trust God that you are exactly where you are meant to be. May you not forget the infinite possibilities that are born of faith. May you use those gifts that you have received and pass on the love that has been given to you. May you be content knowing you are a child of God. Let this presence settle into your bones and allow your soul the freedom to sing, dance, praise, and love. It is there for each and every one of us. Amen. So I think about that as one of these hinge moments for our fabulous eighth graders. Whether you have been at Sacred Heart for a long time or you are new to us, this is a wonderful new chapter for transition into upper school. And I hope that you can tell in the next few minutes and then in the next few weeks how excited we are to welcome you and how many of us are invested in your success. I canvassed a few students today in upper school to say, what do you think eighth graders would want to hear the most? And I received two wonderful pieces of advice from current 10th graders. One said, you really have to believe that all the adults in the upper school really care about you and really make it fun. I thought that was a really healthy and sage perspective. And the other came later as I was walking home, because most of you know I live sort of behind the gym in the back of the campus in the little yellow cottage. And a student kind of ran out because she had come to see me today and I was a little bit busy. And it was nice that she said, oh, hi, I just wanted to say hi. And I said, what would be your advice? And she only thought for half a second and she said, tell them just to be themselves. And again, I thought how authentic, how wonderful, and also just how pure it was for her to say that. So, we start with a clean slate, all of us in September. And I think for me as a teacher, and I hope for you all as students and parents, that always feels like we have the opportunity to think about how we begin again anew. And for upper school, we always have our roadmap and it's laid out for us. And that is working backwards from the portrait of the graduate, the portrait of who we want these young women to become with the 5 goals guiding them. So, how do they find faith in themselves, faith in each other, faith in their interior life and in their spiritual life? How do we really embrace intellectual values deeply with imagination, curiosity, passion, love of learning? And that will be our goal for next year as a community. I'm going to encourage us to really focus on goal 2 with an emphasis on joyful learning. High school does not have to be a treadmill. We are not here at Sacred Heart to survive upper school. We are here to thrive and to grow and to have a little fun along the way. And I hope you're going to hear that as the night goes on. We're also really here to explore the concept of how we become aware of others and act in a way that we're always justice oriented. So, how are we having those hard conversations about what's happening in our nation, what's happening in our local communities, and how do we reach out and be kind and inclusive? How do we consider what we're doing to build community, both within our grade, within the upper school, across divisions, and within our parent body? And then, of course, which is really an important part of the upper school experience, especially as eighth graders anticipate the freedom of upper school, and that's goal 5. How do we manage ourselves? How are we self reflective? And how do we take feedback? I think that's something really important in the upper school community. So, when we think about embracing your daughters, it's a partnership. For parents on the call, you know that these years count. There's no denying that. But at the same time, it's a journey and we can't enter it with worry. We have to enter it with optimism and great expectations. And for parents, I would say I'd give you 2 short pieces of advice before I turn it over to talk about the social development, the academic choices, and the athletic opportunities. And that is Really have confidence in what the first student said to me. Your daughter has many mentors and partners besides the home front to help her navigate these 4 years. Ask her the question when she runs into a problem, who can help you figure this out? Because the more she can navigate upper school on her own and advocate for herself, the better off she's going to be. And the other piece I really think is, instead of worrying about grades or worrying about scores or worrying in general, it's really saying, what was a great thing that happened today? And if we center on joy and we center on the idea that we're really all in this together as a partnership, I think we have many decades, if not now centuries, of success that we can believe will also, set the stage for how your girls are going to enter these 4 wonderful years. And we really can't wait to welcome them and to welcome you as parents back on campus, and to partner with us through what should be really 4 amazing years. So with that, I'll turn it over to Mrs. McDonald, who, as our academic dean, is going to help guide your girls to make choices. Again, we want to think about, these are not choices that are going to determine everything. They're baby steps and sometimes leapfrog steps, but all of which are in dialogue and all of which are able to be adjusted. So I turn it over to Mrs. McDonald and she can give you some academic advice.
Great. Thank you so much and welcome to everyone. And yes, I want to embrace the framework that Mrs. Frazier just spoke about. And while I'm talking about the academics, it's important that they're looked at in that framework, because while certainly the girls are going to be taking courses and they're going to be working hard, most importantly, they're doing that within an arena where we want them to grow in every way. And so we don't want them to become so focused on the academics that they're not experiencing all the other really, really important integral parts of their growth over the next 4 years. So having said that, I do want to say that you'll be getting an email with all the information about how to look at the courses and register for the courses. So you don't have to feel like you need to take notes throughout this. You will get all the information that you need. We'll send an email out early next week, and then the course registration will go live hopefully midweek next week. So having said that, the overall program in the freshman year of the upper school is 7 total core courses. 6 of those courses are your academic courses: English, math, history, science, theology, and a world language. As you know, you've sat for placement tests, talked with your teachers if you're from our middle school about where you might fit into those specific programs in the upper school. So when you open your registration, you'll see those recommendations. What were you recommended in English and math and history, science, those 6 courses. More fun comes when you get to choose your elective. So you'll get a core elective, and it's called a core elective because, like the academic core courses, it meets a substantial number of times per cycle in the upper school. So you'll have the opportunity to choose whether you want to involve yourself in theater, foundations of art. If you're a student who eventually wants to pursue photography, you'll start out next year in foundations of art, and that'll give you the foundation to move forward in a photography program in subsequent years. Introduction to filmmaking is an option. Design thinking and computer science is another elective option. If you are interested in the computer science field, that will be a great place to get started. And then some of our students are really interested in world languages. And so while one of the core academic subjects is a world language, some of our students, quite a few of our students, decide as their elective to take a second world language. And so that's an option for you too. So between the 6 core academic subjects and the 1 core elective, that kind of frames your 7 primary courses in your freshman year. We do make an effort to allow everyone to take their first elective. A lot of times that works. Sometimes we do have to default to your second choice. So you'll see when you register that we'll ask you to rank your elective choices. In addition to those 7 core courses, you will be able to take orchestra or chorus if you'd like, and we hope that many of you are artists and pursue all kinds of performing arts as you move into your freshman year. Additionally, all 9th graders are scheduled into PE, peer leadership, which Miss Panarella will discuss, is a wonderful program where the girls in their freshman year are really mentored by our seniors. And it's a wonderful program that they talk about up until they graduate and after they graduate. And then we do also have in the freshman year an introduction to programming with Python course that all of the girls do take. We hope that not only piques their interest in computer science, but we also hope that if it's not necessarily something they want to pursue in subsequent years, at least it gives them that opportunity to look at coding and understand what coding is all about. So all of the students, in addition to the 7 core courses, will take PE, peer leadership, introduction to programming with Python. If your daughter is involved in 2 seasons of sports, or perhaps has some activity outside of school, athletic activity like dance, horseback riding, that they're spend a number of hours per week involved in, they will also have the opportunity to be exempt from PE. When they go to their first PE class in the fall, they'll get all kinds of information about how they can pursue an exemption if in fact they're playing in multiple sports or they're involved in something outside of school. I want to just reiterate so much with what Mrs. Fraser said, that certainly we provide a rigorous academic program, and we encourage the girls to always challenge themselves in that program. But most importantly, we want this 4 years to be a real journey of growth for them. We don't want it to be a pressure cooker. We want them to work hard, but we so want them to enjoy the journey. So we really ask you as parents and you as students to give yourself the room to grow. Allow yourself to make mistakes, allow yourselves to learn from mistakes and move forward, and rely, as Mrs. Fraser said, there's such a tier of support here, which you'll see with Ms. Panarella, who's our phenomenal Dean of Students, who has so much programming to provide support from different people at different levels. Focus on your health, focus on your well-being, surround yourself with great friends and great adults who are here to support you, and look at the next 4 years with excitement. Academic, social, wellness, it's all here for you, and most importantly, we are here for you. So I say to so many people that I find that the biggest point of growth is when our freshmen learn that the culture in the upper school is to seek out people to support you. When you come in the morning and the classrooms are filled with students going to teachers for extra help, that's the norm. And so don't hesitate to take advantage of it. Once they learn that that's the culture and that's how they're really going to grow, sky's the limit. So we really are looking forward to having all of you with us. As the academic dean, please don't hesitate to reach out with any questions about the academic programming. And as I said, you'll get a letter early next week explaining the registration process to you, and that will be followed up with the opening of the registration with very specific instructions about how to register for the courses. But again, don't hesitate to reach out if I can assist in any way. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Miss Karen Panarella, who's our Dean of Students.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. I'm so happy to see so many faces out there. It was great to get a chance to meet some of your daughters via Zoom as we were interviewing, and actually to teach some of your daughters last year in the classroom. So I'm just so excited to welcome the class of 2025 to the upper school next year, and we cannot wait to see you in person and welcome you through those hallways. We are ready to get started and get excited and really bring joy back, to learning and get off this Zoom thing. But we have so many programs ready for your girls. The girls, like Mrs. McDonald said, go into a peer leadership program with our seniors. They are being selected right now after a rigorous application process. The peer leaders get trained in August and in June a little bit, and get ready to welcome your daughters and get them throughout the whole year. So that they'll meet them really in the beginning and help them there, but bring them out to our peer leaders are just ending their classes now with our freshmen. So they see them throughout the year. So your girls will be in partnerships, and about 8 girls to a couple peer leaders. They'll also have advisories. And again, that's 8 to 10 girls. And it's a different 8 to 10 girls that they'll meet with, and they'll have an advisor for 4 years. So your advisor grows with you. That's a little different than our middle school. But it's really a great chance for your advisor to be partners with you and be partners in communication and learning how your daughter learns and grows, and helping us give the best programming best for her. We are excited to have a great orientation program that will be happening on September 2nd. They will be orientated to school. They will come and get their schedules and meet us and meet their advisors, which will be great. And then meet with their peer leaders for a few hours. And then we have plans to go to a ropes course so that these girls get to really know each other and meet each other outside the classroom, off the fields, out of the theater, and work together, team build. And then on the first day of school, they'll all be in the same uniform, starting the same high school career. So, we do have middle school and girls that have come up from lower school, but again, we focus on the class of 2025, and we're really very excited for that. We have so many things planned. I just met with the student council for next year for a few. I saw one just walk through a hallway. And they have plans. They are excited. They have a back to school barbecue planned already. And, so they are welcoming and ready to have the next upper school year to start. So with that, I'm going to focus over to Liz, and then I'm going to open up the chat. So if people want questions, we will look at the questions in there, and I'll introduce Liz Dennison, our athletic director. Thanks, everyone.
Great, thanks, Ms. Pan. And hi, everyone. I'm excited to see many of you for the first time, and some of you returning from coming up through the middle school. As Ms. Panarella said, my name is Liz Dennison. I'm the Director of Athletics. And I'm really excited to work with your daughters in the upper school, not only with athletics, but also in many of our leadership and wellness initiatives. So partnering very closely with Ms. Panarella, the Dean of Students, our school psychologists. We're really excited to launch a lot of great initiatives to support your daughters and the entire upper school. A speaker series, opportunities for growth in leadership. We have a leadership academy that's run through our athletics department. So we hope that your daughters will take advantage of many of these opportunities that the upper school provides. We'll also be expanding our fitness programming and opportunities for students who are either not an athlete or in between their athletic seasons. So lots of information will come to the girls as the year gets underway. And I certainly hope you'll encourage them to take advantage of whatever opportunities they choose. With respect to athletics, certainly our interscholastic athletic program is one that we really feel perfectly marries with the mission of Sacred Heart and what they're learning in the classroom. I really believe that athletics can help teach leadership skills, teamwork, goal setting, communication. And I hope that every student will try athletics in the upper school, whether you're coming up from our middle school program or coming from a different middle school. Our approach is to really have our upper school athletics program take that next step. Our goal is to find a role for every student on their team and to encourage them to embrace that role and really lead their team and themselves in whatever role that is. So whether you're preparing to play your sport in college and you have those aspirations, or if you want to just get better every day, have fun with your friends and do your best on the field and the pool, on the court, we want you to do that. And our coaches and myself are here to support you in doing that. So we really hope our students will embrace a lot of what Mrs. Frazier said and take control of their own athletic experience. That's a big piece of our upper school sports, and something that we really try to encourage our ninth graders to understand, that shift from middle school sports up to upper school. Be your own self-advocate, come speak to your coaches, talk to me, and that certainly transcends far beyond athletics, as everyone has said, to the academics, to the arts, and we hope that athletics will just be one of those pieces that can really help teach our students how to be empowered, to set their own course through their upper school time. Just a couple notes about athletics for those that are interested in pursuing them. A lot of information is on the parent portal. So for new families, I know that information has been shared with you. For returning families, if you log on, you're able to see in our athletics tab a schedule already for our fall preseason. So for those families that have a daughter playing a fall sport, we do start on August 23rd. So that's just something to mark on your calendar. It's the 2 weeks before school starts. Our whole schedule is already posted in the portal under athletics for those 2 weeks. Don't worry, it will not conflict with orientation activities. We want to make sure your girls can attend everything they need to that second week. So we'll be fully coordinated. We'll keep them busy and ready to go when they start school after Labor Day. We'll also be posting our fall competition schedule by the end of next week. So again, if you play a fall sport, you'll be able to really plan ahead for that. Lots of other information on the website about our winter and spring seasons. And I know everyone's been shared, new students, a link to sign up for sports, and returning students, the students themselves were shared that Google survey. Parents, please feel free to reach out if you didn't get it, or if your daughter signed up for something and changed their minds. They're welcome to change. It just helps us plan. So no worries if you either haven't or are not sure. We hope that they'll learn about the opportunities at Sacred Heart and really take advantage of them. I'm happy to answer any other questions anytime, but hope that athletics, our leadership programming and wellness programming is something that really helps support your daughters and helps them grow outside of the classroom. And I'll turn it back over.
Great. We have a few questions coming in right now, so maybe I'll put some out there. Our first question is, can you speak a bit about the science research program? Specifically, when would the girls be eligible to begin this?
Great. Yes. So the science research program is one of our signature programs here, and it typically begins in the sophomore year. And the way that it works is that in the sophomore year, the girls are primarily learning about how you put a proposal together. What is it that you want to investigate, and how do you frame that in an official proposal that you can enter into a fair. They are matched up with, once they decide what they might want to pursue, they're matched up with a professional in the field, a mentor, and they begin to really delve into that specific area that they think they might want to come up with some ideas to research. Junior and senior, they pursue that proposal more in terms of the actual research, again, continuing to work with their mentor and participate in fairs. It's a wonderful program. It's a very unique program where the girls are working not only with their teacher here at the school in a really close kind of one-to-one arrangement, but again, also with a mentor out in the field. And so again, typically that can begin in sophomore year, and it's a 3-year kind of progressive program.
Great. Can you talk a little about the upper school schedule, what it looks like, start end time, number of classes per days, and what Wednesdays look like? And I think I can, or Mrs. Frazier, would you like to take this on?
Well, I'll start, and Miss Pan, you fill in or correct. We have seen this year a real benefit of a late start. All the research points to teenagers needing more sleep. And so we are holding with a slightly later start to school, but a wonderful return of morning meetings. So we'll gather several days a week where the students will have an opportunity to share the good news of what's going on and different activities and to make announcements. It's really a student-led welcome to the day. Our student leaders, can have their voice. Lots of students can participate in fun activities to get the day off to a festive start. And it allows us, I think, to continue to tweak a schedule that did work well this year, which is that we have longer classes and fewer classes every day. So the largest number of classes would be 4. On some days, there'll be only 3 classes with room, as Ms. Dennison said, for wellness programming on Wednesdays. We're sticking to Wednesdays ending after lunchtime for 2 reasons. One, it gives our student athletes the chance to attend activities further away because we participate in a league that often will require us to travel great distances to play against boarding schools. We don't want our girls missing 2 academic classes on a regular basis. And also for those in the performing arts, it gives them a lot more time for rehearsals, for open art studio. And then we're really going to encourage the girls, not just 9th grade, but all the way through, to really use that hour or hour and a half in the afternoon to see teachers for extra help, to stay and get work done in a collaborative way on a project, so that we're mindful of the notion of reducing the homework load. So we're looking at tweaking what we've had this year and working it to our advantage. And one of the things we also noticed was we missed a lot of Mondays between legal holidays and just the way luck would fall, that we often had snow days in the winter on Mondays for whatever reason. So the girls will pick this up quickly. You don't have to worry about it. But essentially, if we took a Monday through Friday, instead of it ever being a day of the week, it'll be a number day. So it'll be a 1, 2, Wednesday 1, 3, 4, and then a 5, 6, Wednesday 2, 7, 8 across 2 weeks, if you're following me. So that way, if we miss a day, the number day just continues the next day, and it is more equitable, and we don't have to worry about losing class time. So deeper dive with longer classes, that's well researched for girls. And it also gives us time in science for labs, in the arts for more extensive projects, for our great discussions that happen in the humanities. And most importantly, we're really seeking balance for these girls. And again, Ms. Pan, if you want to talk about where clubs and activities, because I saw that as a good question that kind of dovetails in.
Totally. I was just going to say that. So within that schedule that Mrs. Frazier described, we'll have a chance for a break midway, and that's where we'll meet our advisory, and your girls will sit with your advisors. That's where clubs will go, and it will rotate in that day schedule. And sometimes there will just be a break. On those Wednesdays, we have times for chapels and speakers and Wellness Wednesdays that we'll be planning as well. So all of those opportunities will happen within the schedule. The other part of that question was community service. Mrs. Bader, who's our community service director, just does a wonderful job of reaching out to the girls. And this is their start of their high school career, where they will get the emails and they will be tapped to do things, not moms and dads. We'll put it in the weekly communications, but really the girls will be in charge of their community service and what they'd like to try to get interested in. And she works so well with each and every one of them to find something that they're passionate about. So that will happen. There was another question about the likelihood of network exchange. Will it happen for this class? I would say yes.
Yeah, I'm happy to take that. Most of you probably know Monse Garcia in our World Languages Department. She and I meet regularly. I think we are most optimistic that even by 2022, which to me sounds almost space age to say, that in this current 10th grade rising freshmen into next year's 10th grade rather will have opportunities based on family comfort, and just where the host student would be coming from, or where our Sacred Heart student would be going to. So obviously we all have safety on our mind, but I think we also have a sense of opening up and seeing what's possible. My crystal ball, if I were a betting person, would say in a year and a half from now, your girls should, again, within the comfort of your own family and decision making really have great opportunities. Again, it is a fabulous program when you think about a 10th grader having a chance for 2 weeks or 4 weeks or 6 weeks going to another Sacred Heart school where we know we share a mission, and yet the students get to experience something that is so new and so independent for them. And then you get to host a student who really can bring her gifts and experiences to your family and to our school. So it's a Hallmark program. We're excited to start back. And I really think your girls will probably be the first group since last year that really can see it fully again. Thank God.
Well, another question, do the girls get a tour of the high school? Absolutely. So that's that orientation day. When we are back on campus and everybody's with each other, our peer leaders will show them the most important places to go, where their classrooms are, where Miss Angelillo's office is to sign in and sign out, all those little things that that they're going to need to know. So yes, they will get a tour of the high school. Next question, will school be requiring the COVID-19 vaccine for students?
I'll take that one too. So again, we're in the middle of May, and those of you who are already with us in the Sacred Heart community, hopefully you received, I know we flood you sometimes with messages, but a message today that on the 18th of May, which is next week, we're having a vaccination clinic for students ages 12 to 17 right here on campus. So again, that's a family decision. Right now, we're not requiring students to have vaccines, but we're certainly with our medical advisors encouraging it as a mitigation practice. And we want to make it as easy for the girls as possible. So I don't see the policy changing between now and September in terms of a requirement, but I do think that we want to facilitate that as many students and families feel that it's comfortable, take advantage of the opportunity through school or through their pediatrician or back to school physical. And that's, again, something we respect that each family may need to talk to their own medical advisor about.
Great. Miss Dennison, I'm going to throw this one over to you. What are the levels of upper school sports at CSH? Just varsity JV? If so, do JV teams have cuts, or they accept any student who's willing to put in the time at practice?
Great question. So it somewhat depends on the sport in terms of how many teams we have for our upper school sports. Most of our sports have 2 teams, a varsity and a JV team. Some of our sports will have 3 teams, and that's really based on the number of students that we have interested in playing that sport. For example, our field hockey team sometimes has 3 teams. Our squash teams have 3 teams because of the number of interest. So it can vary by sport, and it will also vary by year, depending on numbers. Our goal is to have every student who wants to play, wants to come every day, wants to work hard, has a role and a team to play on, and has interscholastic competition. We only make cuts at the upper school level in very few sports. And those sports that we do make cuts in, it's mostly due to facilities and wanting to make sure our practices are productive, our students have an opportunity to compete and develop their skills in competition. So sports that traditionally have cuts at the upper school level are squash and tennis. We have not had to make cuts in other sports. It could happen. I don't want to say never. But again, my goal is to make sure that every girl that wants to come out every day and do their best, whatever that is, has an opportunity to represent Sacred Heart on the athletics field.
That's great. Will there be social events that include other schools? Absolutely. We are excited to get back into the swing of things. So yes, we will have not only dances and maybe a new karaoke or open mic night, but our speech and debate team works with other schools. Our Model UN, our mock trial team meets with other schools. So you'll see it on all different levels. And I think as we're opening up, we will be back in touch with schools. Our student council, again, I met with them today. They're excited to meet with other area student councils as well. So not only boys schools, but boys and girls schools, and just see what they're doing and making sure that we're coming together as a greater community. So we're excited for that. a new question since the class missed 2 class trips. I guess this is from our middle school. Is a class trip possible? I think upper school does a lot of work. We don't go on many trips, but we do have a 3-day Kairos retreat as juniors. The girls go away for retreat days, either on campus and off campus. So that's something we do. I think there's just a lot of opportunities that are out there. The class trips that middle school had are not, we don't have that much room in our curricular days sometimes to be able to do that. But who knows, I think if there's a proposal out there, we'd always be willing to listen.
And Ms. Pan, I'll just jump into it. If you play a spring sport, the second week of March break, we will travel with our teams to train. This year we stayed in Connecticut and trained, of course, but looking forward to hopefully getting south or different places to train in all of our spring sports. So while that's not a class trip, it is a great way to bond with your team and bond across classes. So, for a freshman to be able to really spend time with her upperclassmen teammates and learn, and obviously practice her sport. Hopefully those spring athletes, you'll save that second week of March for training and travel.
Great. Marcy, maybe you want to take this one. Is the research program only in science, not in humanities?
I will take that. I love that question because right now it's, in the official sense of the word, the research program is in our science program. But the thing that I hope you will grow to love about your upper school experience is that we get excited about people questioning, can we do something else? Can we try something else? Is there another opportunity? So right now, the research program is not in the humanities. We have a rich humanities program in so many ways. You'll hear about as you spend more time with us, our senior seminar program, which is our capstone program in the senior year, where the girls really delve into philosophical literature and kind of tie the theological approach and the literature approach together. But again, I would love to talk to whoever wrote that question about a research program in the humanities, because that's how we challenge each other and grow together, and how we develop really exciting programming in the upper school. So very good question.
Great. We are watching the time. I know we're getting a little late there, but we only have a few more questions. Is there an upper school course book? I believe that's our course catalog you're talking about, and that would be found in your parent portal. So when you get your letter for registration and your username and ID, you'll be able to log on in and you'll be able to see our course catalog right there.
Yeah, and if Karen, if I can just jump in for a second. So on the registration page, again, you'll get instructions to get you to this page. There'll be really 3 things. There'll be a letter from me detailing kind of a little bit of what we talked about this evening. And there will also be a link to the instructions to how to actually register for the classes. And the third link is a link to the course catalog. So you can go in and see what is the Foundations of Literature class in the 9th grade all about? What is the Theological Foundations class all about? So there will be a link, as Karen said, not only on our website, but actually directly on the page that you'll go to register for classes.
Great. And then one final question, can we speak a little bit more about our speech and debate team? The speech and debate team has been here for years, and the girls have done such wonderful work. I think COVID put a little bit of a halt into it. It was happening over Zoom and it was hard, but it's a really great opportunity for our girls to learn how to use their voices, debate with other schools, give oratory presentations, and travel from school to school. So again, I think as things are opening up, our girls went to Regis, went to Fordham, went to other girls' schools, and then we always held a speech and debate tournament here at the end of January. And I really do look forward to being able to have that back in our building, because our girls just do wonderfully with it. So I believe that will be up and running. Are there any final questions? It doesn't seem so in the chat, or final words.
You know, I'll always jump in at the end, Miss Ann. So today, for those of us who were in Mass together, we not only celebrated Ascension Thursday, but Madeline Sophie's anniversary of her death. So I always love to think about who are our foundresses and how do they ground us in the reality of our experience. And I think for upper school, one of the Madeline Sophie quotes that really makes me think about our journey together with your daughters is when she said, the Sacred Heart never asks that we become perfect all at once, that we work at becoming so day by day as God gives us grace and light. And so I think if we just think about one step at a time and where your girls were even say 9 months ago, 10 months ago, beginning this year, which was so uncertain and unknown to so many of us, and they're more ready than they know to come into middle school. And I think, day by day and with some grace and love, a few bumps, that's okay along the way, their journey is going to be full of joy, full of love. And most of all, we know because we're within moments of celebrating our current class of 2021, your girls will be inheriting that mantle each year. And so many wonderful Sacred Heart girls have gone before your daughters and will come after your daughters. And I think that's the beauty of what we've all kind of tried to express about the journey. So we're just so thrilled to welcome your girls. And again, please take us to heart. If you have questions, you have concerns, you know how to reach us, don't hesitate. We're here for you. We're here for your girls. And we just can't wait to welcome you fully, open arms, open doors back on campus. So thanks so much for joining us tonight. And we look forward to seeing you in person soon. Okay, take good care.